Good afternoon. Name's Joe Johnson. This is Joe One Kenobi Fitness channel. Here we are in the beautiful Sonoran Desert. Got ourselves a bunch of friends, prickly friends, all around. Today we're gonna go home. Springs Trail, just outside of Apache Junction, in the Superstitions. Jackrabbit or cottontail and have some dinner. If not, I can drive back into town and get some camp Raising Cane's. So, join. We have here massive rhyolite formations, which is just volcanic ash solidified and making these really awesome structures. And we have granite, and most of the time that's below it, but Arizona was very volcanically active and still to a degree is up north near Springerville, and the volcanic fields out that way are evidence of such. But this is what the desert looks like in the winter, with most of the precipitation that the Sonoran Desert receives being in the winter months from rain and the occasional snowfall at higher elevations. The saguaro cactus, the iconic trademark of the desert Southwest. And littered in between it is the Palo Verde, which is this tree right in front of us. Palo Verde meaning grain stick. It has very pokey and abrasive edges to it. We have this massive rhyolite deposit forming this mountain and rock face, just unbelievably detailed and complex. So the solidified volcanic ash is being weathered away by wind, rain, and the sun as well. There's green and yellow blotches on the rock, which is a form of lichen, which lichen is both a fungus and a bacteria, moss I should say, and it has, its prevalence in a lot of these massive rock formations, with most of the time it being an indication of air quality. Lichen is some of the oldest organisms that we can know of and document. It's absolutely gorgeous, really windy today, but still wouldn't beat it. Just unbelievable canyons and mountains, thousands of years of meticulous erosion, and just unreal. The plant life is in full swing. It's very abundant this time. The only thing that I'm not surprised seeing is as much water flowing. There's little trickles here and there, but nothing as extreme as I have seen in the past in this area of Arizona. Here we have one of our favorite plants, little mesquite growing up. They have tiny little pricks, not all too bad. Just gotta avoid getting too close to them. But here we go. Oh, would be remiss without making mention of Arizona hikers' favorite cacti. Cactus, the jumping cholla. They call it that as a result of its tendencies to jump out. It's very thick spines all around, and its main way of getting around part of its way of spreading and germinating seeds is its ability to detach parts of it, so animals will brush up past it and then to carry it along to other areas, and then the hard shell casings will eventually disappear, then leaving the seeds to be able to spread throughout. Oh, it's Bigfoot! Getting ready to approach what appears to be a cave. Let's see if it's really deep, shallow, or mountain lion hanging out there. But just got off trail a little bit and ended up So here I am, reached the mouth of the cave, which upon further investigation doesn't really look like a cave per se, but just two rocks joined together. That was where I started from, down there. And yeah, gonna check it out. Hello! Anyone in here? Hello! So, a bit of a covering from the wind. Nice, cool outcropping here. But yeah, no indications of really any serious habitations. It's not all too great with the wind. I mean, this would be more ideal for hunting, being up out a view of any animals down below in the valley here. There's a little creek, some water in it, but you know, during the time of the Apache, there would have been a lot more water, cooler temperatures. There would have been an abundance of hunting in this area, but still rather incredible. Just a great example of how neat the erosion patterns can be in these rhyolite rock faces. Oh, we have a terrific view out there of the world famous or Arizona famous Four Peaks, and just down below all of the other various mountain ranges associated with the superstitions. This is more of the synonymous superstitions that we know of. On the distance is Peak 5057, and then behind this rock face is more of our famous superstitions with Flatiron and Weaver's Needle. And we have way out in the distance the Four Peaks, and going up further northwest is some of the Mazatzals. So it looks like we have something here. I mean, first, whoa, if I can stay upright enough to show you. But we have these rock positioned here, and upright type of manner. And very well could be just a sign. There's some shelter. Some past inhabitants used it as a means to tell direction. And honestly, very well could be sundial of some sort, with, you know, the shadow being cast from this relatively straight rock at a certain degree. Whatever remains of it is gone, but it's awfully neat. It's hard to tell with this as to, you know, how old it could be, if it's part of the Apaches or maybe some of the first pioneers and settlers of the area, European Anglican settlers, but still, you know, definitely not just a sheer coincidence or naturally occurring. It is man-made of some sort. Water is life here in the desert Southwest in more ways than one. You find these washes or dried out creek beds, and you can discover quite a bit. You know, whether that be just ancient deposits of gold, copper, quartz, other various things that have been washed up and brought along throughout the years of monsoon rainstorm. You see here this very loose sand. Looks as though, you know, throughout the years of rainfall coming through and accumulating all this material, could very well be leading to a series of gold or other precious metals. But it's these waterways that are used by animals, including myself and the other two-legged kind, to get easily from point A to point B. A lot of these washes have, you know, looser rocks or easier ground, not as much vegetation to come through, and it will be a good opportunity to sight game such as quail or coyote and other critters that in the pioneering days would have meant dinner or lunch or breakfast. So very cool, very neat to be here following the footsteps of those people who have come before. All right, so now I'm gonna get back onto the trail as indicated by All Trails and probably head to my truck and get home. Here we have the superstitions as they are most famously depicted. The western part of them with flat iron out in the distance. Larger peak 5046, I believe. And then who could I forget? Weaver's Needle, which doesn't look all too much like a needle from this degree, but it is desert southwest. Getting close to the trailhead, almost done.